guys, welcome back. And this is our closing statement of our Mass Effect series, essentially the Mass Effect trilogy and Mass Effect Andromeda. Now, as you can see, we have, or if you may remember, we have played all the entire Mass Effect trilogy and up till some point Mass Effect Andromeda. You may remember that around that time my server crashed, which caused me to lose all the files, all the save files for Mass Effect, for Fallout 4, Nier Automata, all these games. And I was forced to put a stop on the video series. In terms of other series like Nier Automata, I'll be redoing the entire series because essentially the series, well, when I play again, there will be some changes or what quest I'll do first in terms of side quests and all that. So I'll be doing the entire series again. The But in terms of this series, I've played the Andromeda. I've completed it, despite the fact that I was unable to record it at that time when I played it. After this event happened, but personally, I do not really think there is much to record that could have changed our opinion in terms of what the game is or how the game is. But either way, we'll get a bit of a discussion about that. First, let's talk about the trilogy. Essentially, one of the very best series to be made, and a series I can recommend to anyone who have not yet played this, despite the fact that it is a lot older in terms of graphics or in terms of certain gameplay elements. Certainly, it is outdated, if you may. But in terms of story, its execution, this series is something incredible. You have seen me playing this, or if you haven't, go ahead. There are so many videos of this. Check all these out. There is a up until here. There will be in the future. This is the end of the trilogy, last part of Mass Effect 3. Very well executed game, essentially. For and around the time this game was made, I'm certain this was very like one of the best games around that time. Now, comparing this to Andromeda, first of all, Andromeda's storyline. First, let's say what I liked about Andromeda. There's only one part I liked. That is the final battle in the Meridian Core. Yes, that is the only part I liked about Mass Effect Andromeda. Because otherwise, Mass Effect Andromeda's story does not feel like a main story. It is more of a prologue. Like literally, it only makes you kind of acquainted with the races, with the environment, and just one big baddie that you are after. Nothing else yet. There's that little cutscene about the person who gave you the kill code, and he's like, but yeah, they and also that omnious message from the other arc that did not came yet, the final arc. But other than that, there is not really any indication of what the the Nexus and the Pathfinder team may be facing off. Unlike in Mass Effect 1, where we already knew the existence of the Reapers and how they are influencing others to do their bidding, what their purpose is. So there is already a foreshadow that they might come in the future and stuff like that. Essentially, causing that to have a better ending compared to Mass Effect Andromeda. And I am comparing Mass Effect 1 with Andromeda specifically because Andromeda feels like a start of a storyline, of a longer storyline, of a serial storyline, like Mass Effect 1 was. However, as I said, the execution of Mass Effect 1 storyline is far better than you will find in Mass Effect Andromeda. Other than that, there are, of course, still various bugs and glitches. Let's not go deep into that hellhole. But one of or rather two of the most annoying things I have seen in Andromeda. One is your movement pattern. A person does not entirely lean to a side where they are moving. Otherwise, you will fall, which does not happen in Andromeda. Apparently, you can move like this much, this much, or maybe this much. Who knows? Yeah, this much. But still, you can move like this. But like, why? Yeah, that is like very weird movement pattern. Not to mention the due to frostbite. This is something I don't like about the frostbite engine itself. Causes the like in Mass Effect trilogy, you'll find that the characters look a bit realistic. Of course, it's not realistic, but a bit. Like it feels like a character. In Mass Effect Andromeda, you feel like you're using clay dolls. Essentially, this Frostbite engine is making characters out of wax dolls or clay dolls, if you may. That is one thing I do not like this entire engine about. This facial, not facial, the entire body feels like a wax doll. Not to mention those facial expressions are pretty inaccurate in many cases, which we already know, and the main protagonist's expression annoys me supremely. Who looks so uninterested when there is an important discussion going on? Hmm? Anyone? These are just a few of the problems Mass Effect Andromeda has, which we already know. And in light of this, we can safely say that Mass Effect Andromeda does not feel like part one of any storyline. It is a prologue kind of thing. I cannot say it is a main story at all. Whereas Mass Effect 1 was a proper story with a proper foreshadow of the second part. Here, even the foreshadow feels very less or very unimpactful, if you may. And I hope if there will be any further uh, production of this Mass Effect series, continuation of Andromeda, maybe. I hope these issues will be fixed as much as possible. Of course, storyline is like in no one's hand, but all those glitches, all this weird, awkward movement pattern, this especially this Frostbite Angels clay doll figurines for the characters. I hope they will be much better, much well executed. Not to mention certain scenes, you know what I'm talking about. Those scenes are very well executed in the trilogy. Doesn't make you feel like you are watching something wrong, or rather something very awkward that you feel in Andromeda. Like, really, who the hell just. Seriously, the protagonists in both games are worlds apart. Commander Shepard being a literary veteran, and his attitude makes you feel so. Whereas Raider, he feels like a person who should not be at that place, quite literally. Like, even his attitude at the late game was, and his facial expressions does not do anything good on that at all. So yeah, proper facial expressions, please. So essentially, with all these annoyances that we are talking about, basically we can safely say that if there will be any more Mass Effect games in the future, I'll be very skeptic, especially considering the state of BioWare at this point and their recent games, how they are executed and their feedback. So, yeah, I am very much skeptical. If there will be anything in the future, we have no idea, like literally no idea whether there will be any Mass Effect production after Andromeda, after the big hit Andromeda took, and how the name of this series gone down. So, with that ahead, I certainly will not recommend Andromeda to anyone, but I do hope anyone who has not played Trilogy yet, go and play Mass Effect Trilogy. This is worth your time. And we'll continue on with our gameplay series to keep a lookout for new gameplay series as well as a revamp of the certain old ones like Nier Automata, which will be covered soon. But other than that, I hope you're all good, well, stay safe. I'll see you in another series, another video, or another live stream. Stay safe.